Randy Hopper. Few people have had a greater influence on bass boating than Randy Hopper of Flippin, Arkansas. Starting as a laborer and working his way to president and CEO of Ranger Boats, and now co-founder and CEO of Vexus Boats, Hopper is a true American success story. He joined Ranger in 1970, working alongside founder Forrest L. Wood to build and refine bass boats that set industry standards. Together, they introduced the first aerated livewells, making catch-and-release tournament fishing possible, and helped establish upright and level flotation standards. Over the years, Hopper drove innovations such as V-hull designs, saltwater and aluminum models, and Ranger Trail trailers with fiberglass fenders and disc brakes. He also pioneered integrated setback systems, fiberglass livewell lids, and protruded fiberglass transoms, all of which became industry standards. Beyond engineering, Hopper championed anglers. He built elite pro teams, mentored young competitors, and helped launch FLW Outdoors, which transformed tournament fishing with bigger payouts, television coverage, and major sponsors. Today at Vexus, Hopper continues to design cutting-edge boats while giving back through service on conservation and industry boards.
I'd like to welcome 2025 Bass Fishing Hall of Fame inductee, Mr. Randy Hopper.
Thank you all. I appreciate that. I can see there's not enough light here for an old man, so I'm going to have to wing this. A little bit hard to see. When I got the call from Tommy Sanders a few months back, I was really in shock, to be honest with you, and it took me a few days to decide, if this was real. But I did, and I wanted to know who was going to be inducted in alongside me was the next question. So I did a little Googling and found out that Mr. Craig Lamb was one of the inductees, and I was so happy because Craig's been my friend for many years. In fact, he cut his teeth up there in Flippin working with us when he was kind of a kid, and I was just delighted to know, and congratulations, Craig. I think the world of you. There was another person on there, though, that kind of puzzled me a little bit, and it was William Shakespeare. And my mind went another way when I heard that. So I went back of all the places to an old teacher that I had, an English literature teacher. Now, I'm going to tell you up front that I wasn't a very good student. In fact, I was an awful student. I was jail coating at night at Ranger back then, and I was not interested in what William or anybody else had to say. I had another thing on my mind. But in those days, you signed yearbooks. I was still in high school when I started working there, obviously. So you signed a yearbook, and I can't remember what any of my friends wrote, but I can remember very clearly what Mrs. Briggs, my English literature teacher, wrote. And it went exactly like this. Randy, I've enjoyed working with you what few times you've chosen to work. The next thing, and the bad part was it was true, but she's been deceased for many years now, and I'm almost certain that if she could look down on this event tonight and see me being inducted into a Hall of Fame with William Shakespeare, I think she would pass out or worse, because I guarantee you she'd think this world is going bananas. But on a more serious note, I hadn't done anything really extraordinary in my career, except I've been around some real extraordinary people. I was raised on the White River. Kind of ironic that this is a White River room, I understand. But right below the dam, and my dad ran a boat dock there. My dad used me as free labor, which was good. I was over there, we did everything. Those old boats were 20 foot long, they were wood, they were just heavy. They weren't very modern, I'll tell you that. And the only way we could figure out to make them any heavier was we decided to put 2 or 3 layers of this newfangled material called fiberglass on the bottom of them. And at least it was newfangled to us. So we decked them out with that and made them even heavier. About that same time period, that era, at that very boat dock, a young man from St. Louis, Missouri come down there and purchased that dock, and my dad continued to work for him. His name was Jerry McInnes. Yeah, a Hall of Famer. So I just had a knack for being around some folks that could get things done. My dad passed away at a young age. He was at a young age. I was 15 and I needed to go to work with a full-time job. So I called a guy that was he was a guide at that business or that boat dock that I just now told you about. He said, come on in, come tomorrow night. You can work on the night shift because I was still in school. I walked in that night, my first night at Ranger Boats. Here's a guy sitting behind an old Army surplus desk with a blue denim jacket on and a felt cowboy hat, and there's not a person in this room that wouldn't know who that was. It was Forrest Wood. So there I was working for him. It was, I thought about that many times, what that, he should have said, you're only 15 years old, he should have said, you know, go up and grow up, 18 years old, come back, we'll see if you can, you know, if I can still use you. But that's not what he said for whatever reason. So for the next 46 years, I had the opportunity to work right alongside that man. And what a pleasure it was. He was my boss for 18 years, and I guess probably technically I was his boss for the next 28, but I and everyone else that worked for us knew that really wasn't the case because Forrest was the real boss. Not because he wanted to be, but he had earned that position and he deserved to be. And that's the way we treated him. But Forrest didn't have a real strong training program. They say now that you empower your workers and give them opportunity to make their own decisions. Well, Forrest did that before it was cool. And Forrest was, he was kind of like, don't tell me how rough the seas are, just bring the ship in. And so that's kind of the way we operated. And such was the case one time, I needed to talk to him real bad, and if there was anything that Forrest liked better than the boat side, it was baling hay. He loved rolling up hay for many, many, many years. And he was out in the spring of the year, he was out hauling hay, and I needed to talk to him real bad, so I wasn't any cell phones, communications was real cumbersome then, so I went down to the field. I knew where he was working, just right behind the plant, kind of. I went down there, and I pulled up to the field, and I saw him coming across with a big hay rake and the big tractor and all this. He pulls up, jumps off the tractor, taking those long steps, and before I could tell him why I was there, he jumped off and said, "Get on that tractor and rake the rest of this hay. I need to go make some phone calls." I said, "Forrest, I've never raked any hay." He said, "Good, this hay's never been raked either, so you ought to get along just fine." Jumps in his truck and tears out. I cannot begin to tell you what I learned from that man. It was amazing. 1987, Forrest and Nina sold the plant to the Thompson family out of Dallas, Texas. And we were kind of a small fish in their big pond. They were very proud of it, but they had a big thing going on because they owned 7-Eleven and Citco. And at the time, they were trying to counter a hostile takeover, so they were buying the stock, and it was a lot of it. It was a multi-billion-dollar deal. So they were really busy about that. And their timing was just terrible because what happened was when this was just at the apex, happened to be October 19th, 1987, and some of you stockbrokers in here may remember that as they call it Black Monday now. It was the largest single drop, and still is 40 years later. It's a single drop in percentage at the stock market. They were in the tank before they ever got out on first base. So they had a bunch of 17% junk bonds. I didn't know what a junk bond was before that. We didn't even have them in Flippin. I thought, man, what's this all about? We found out real quick. I got a call from a guy, Irwin Jacobs, and Irwin knew exactly what they were. Irwin was, he called him Irv the Liquidator then. I think he was a long-lost brother of Donald Trump because he was a deal maker. And ironically, Irwin turned out to be one of my best friends. He was just, we just hit it off. I don't know exactly how, but we did. I've told a lot of people, though, and I understand there's another side, and I've told a lot of people that if Irwin was your friend, he was one of your best friends. And if he was your enemy, you probably need to sleep with one eye open. And if you weren't sure, you probably didn't need to sleep at all. Just go on. But I learned so much from that guy. We worked for 19 years together, and he did a whole lot. He's another Hall of Famer, so I've already mentioned 3 Hall of Famers. But now we bring it to a level where, everything goes up and down, seems like. So Irwin fell on hard times in 2009 when it had the financial crisis. His big company was over-leveraged, and they fell on hard times. So enter a man named Louis Sampson of Platinum Private Equity. Now, I knew a little bit about private equity, and I knew that it would probably be, no offense to any of you that are here, but it'd be kind of hard to find a good private equity partner. And I knew that. But I reluctantly decided to talk to Louis, and we hit it off at the first time. Him and our crew met with them, and they were wonderful partners. I couldn't say enough good about him. He's still a good friend to this day. So I obviously had a great opportunity there with him, and he supported the company so well. I've thought about that, but why wouldn't we hit it off? He was a French-Canadian Wall Street attorney turned private equity executive, and I'm an Arkansas hillbilly boat builder, so perfect match, right? We went on to do some good things together, and he was a great friend. But it was a little bit hard to see here. I want to say right now, because I've told you about 3 things that happened to 3 different people, and it'd be hard for me not to believe in divine intervention. In fact, I do believe in it very strongly. And I want to take that time right now to say that anything that I might have accomplished in my life as worthwhile was not me. It was the Lord working through me. He's done a wonderful work. Everything I've done, in spite of what I do, he seems to like turn it around the other way. So I appreciate that so much, and praise to him. They say that you never see a turtle sitting on a fence post without thinking that he's probably had some help getting there. And I've named some people that really helped me get there, along with 3 generations of boat builders. I've been in this 56 years, and a couple of them are here tonight that started with me very early. There's another generation that come along 20, 25 years later. They're here tonight. I'm not going to name names, but you stood on the shoulders of those first level and just took us to a higher level, including the Vexus startup, which, believe it or not, will be 10 years old very soon. So you guys did a wonderful job, and we've got young people, that last generation coming in. We're equally excited about them. So I think the sport and in my case, the equipment is in good hands. We just thank you all for coming in and support. Lastly, I'm going to say that I want to thank some people, and I'm going to get this up here where I can see it because I don't want to miss anyone. First of all, I want to thank my wife, Brenda, of over 50 years. Brenda is Forrest and Nina's oldest daughter. Brenda wore a lot of hats early on at the company, like we all did. One of the hats she wore was payroll. And I knew of Brenda, but I didn't really know Brenda, and I'm going to tell you how I met her. She was doing the payroll, and I was kind of a go-getter. I worked from 12 noon till 4 o'clock in R&D and product development, and then from 4 till 1 o'clock, that's a.m., I was running the night shift. We did a lot of the work on night shift. In fact, the night shift thought we did all the work, but we did. I worked 13 hours a day. I went to the payroll window to get my check for 65 hours. I thought I might need a wheelbarrow to help carry my money out. Brenda presented me a check for 5 hours. I spent the next few minutes explaining to Brenda that there was 2 1 o'clocks in every day. We hit it off so well that we got married. And as I reflected back on that story, I think that's the only argument I've ever won with her in 53 years. I want to thank Jamie and Michaela. Yeah, thank you. She's put up with a lot of stuff from me. We finally took a vacation one time, and I was sitting down there in the sand. I didn't like the beach. I was writing the first Ranger Owner's Manual. She said, "Boy, can you not leave this alone?" I said, "Well, maybe someday." I want to thank my daughters, Michaela and Brenda. Brenda's my wife. Michaela and Jamie. They're here, and their husbands, Lane and Mario. I've got all 6 of my grandkids here. I've got lots of pictures if you got time afterward. I love you guys, and thanks you. It wasn't easy getting here. They're in college and around all over the place, so thank you so much for coming. I've mentioned my friends and associates, and I want to thank you again. We got sales reps here and just people that we've had long relationships with. I want to thank Bill Roberts for nominating me for this. He and Rose are here tonight. Bill, I've learned a little bit over 50 years in business. If you've got a good lawyer and a good judge, it sure helps out sometimes, and Bill's both. So I think he helped get me up here on the podium. So thank you, Bill, for that nomination. He's been a friend of mine for many, many years. I want to thank Johnny Morris and his group for this wonderful venue that we have to put this on. It's been an exciting night for me. And finally, I want to thank the Hall of Fame, the board, for your support. It's a real honor for me to be here. I just appreciate you so much. God bless you. Thank you.
To present the plaque to Randy Hopper, don't go anywhere, Randy, we're not done yet. I'd like to welcome Alan McGuckin on the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame board. Let's hear it for him, ladies and gentlemen.